Today we're diving into a political news story that's been making waves. Is Xi Jinping facing resistance within the Communist Party? Is his authority being limited, or is there even talk of him stepping down and passing the torch? This topic has gained significant traction, moving from the mainstream narratives of overseas dissidents to even some Western media outlets joining the conversation. Let's examine three key developments. First, at the end of June, Qiushi magazine published Xi Jinping's latest article titled "Unity and Struggle: The Path to the Chinese People's Historic Achievements." The title is ambitious, but what's the core message? It's about confronting containment, suppression, and pressure with bold resolve. The article's central theme is clear. It champions the spirit of struggle and the courage to fight. Xinhua news agency, the mouthpiece of the Chinese Communist Party, reported on this article. According to Xinhua, the 13th issue of Qiushi, published on July 1st, featured Xi's article, "Unity and Struggle: The Path to the Chinese People's Historic Achievements." This piece isn't a new work penned by Xi or his team. Instead, it's a compilation of his remarks from October 2016 to April 2025. The article asserts that only a nation united in struggle can have a bright future, and only a party united in struggle can remain undefeated. All achievements of the party and the people stem from unity and struggle, which are the defining spiritual traits of the Chinese Communist Party and the Chinese people. It also notes that China is at a pivotal moment in achieving the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation, with reform and development at a critical stage of overcoming challenges. The path forward will involve significant struggles, Xi says, calling for resolute resistance against containment, suppression, and pressure. He emphasizes the need for a fighting spirit, clear direction, mastery of struggle's principles, and enhanced capabilities to tackle major challenges, counter risks, overcome obstacles, and resolve significant contradictions. It's a lot of lofty rhetoric, yet Chairman Xi has the audacity to weave it into a cohesive narrative. The second major political development, reported by Xinhua, is titled, "Politburo Meeting: Central Decision-Making Bodies Must Focus on Major Issues." On June 30th, the Central Committee's Politburo convened to review the regulations on the work of the party's Central Committee's decision-making and coordination bodies. The meeting emphasized that establishing these bodies is a critical institutional mechanism to strengthen the party's Central Committee's unified leadership over major tasks and ensure their implementation. These regulations standardize the establishment, duties, and operations of these bodies, playing a vital role in their functions of top-level design, coordination, comprehensive advancement, and oversight. The third development is a significant one. Over the past nearly 2 years, explosive rumors have circulated within Chinese domestic discourse, even within official circles. These claim Xi Jinping has been placed under house arrest, his power has been curtailed, or that certain individuals are poised to succeed him as General Secretary. These rumors have persisted for over a year, intensifying and becoming a focal point in overseas discussions of Chinese politics. Until recently, these narratives were largely confined to Chinese dissidents or informal public opinion, with no serious engagement from mainstream media. However, the dynamics have shifted dramatically in recent days, with authoritative U.S. figures beginning to amplify these claims. For instance, Chang, known for his China collapse theory, appeared on Fox News, stating that Xi Jinping is now facing constraints within the Communist Party. He even suggested that the U.S. should not negotiate trade deals with Xi, as he no longer holds ultimate authority. Chang, however, offered no evidence to support this conclusion, leaving us to question the source of his information or proof that Xi's influence has waned. Why has mainstream U.S. discourse suddenly begun engaging with the idea that Xi's power is diminishing or that he might step down? Two authoritative figures have lent credence to these claims. The first is General Michael Flynn, National Security Advisor during Trump's first term and a prominent figure among Trump's ardent supporters. On June 27th, Flynn posted on the X platform stating, "Take note, a power transition appears to be underway in the Chinese Communist Party. Observers of China must closely monitor the party's core members, particularly officials in government and national security, as they lose confidence." He described the consequences of leadership changes in the CCP as profound. Flynn also shared two images. One is a wide shot of a meeting at the Great Hall of the People, showing three key Chinese political figures seated together: Ding Xuexiang, Shanghai Party Secretary Chen Jilin, and Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission Zhang Yuxia. Flynn suggested this photo implies Ding Xuexiang, seated in the center, could become general secretary, Chen Jilin might become premier, and Zhang Yuxia, with control over the military, could assume the role of chairman of the Central Military Commission. Given Flynn's close ties to Trump, his past role as director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, and his stint as White House National Security Advisor, many who follow Chinese affairs, including some U.S. netizens, believe his claims carry significant weight. Flynn isn't alone in this assessment. Larry Slawson, a former U.S. Consul General to Bermuda, and a former professor at Beijing's University of International Business and Economics, took a different approach. Rather than posting on social media, Slawson published a detailed article in the conservative New York Post. As a China expert, he outlined several indicators suggesting Xi Jinping is on the verge of stepping down. What indicators did Slawson highlight? First, Xi's health is reportedly deteriorating, and due to these issues he might resign at the fourth plenum, retaining only a ceremonial role. Second, Xi's close allies in the military are being gradually purged or meeting mysterious ends. Recently, rumors have emerged that Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission, He Weidong, has died. The loss of Xi's trusted allies through death or removal suggests his military influence is being eroded. Third, when a memorial hall for Xi's father opened in May, its name was abruptly changed from the Xi Jinping Memorial Hall to the Guangzhou Revolutionary Memorial Hall, signaling a weakening of Xi's authority. Based on these indicators, Slawson concluded that Xi Jinping is being sidelined. I'd like to offer three perspectives. First, regarding the Politburo meeting at the end of June, some overseas China experts have suggested it indicates a weakening of Xi's power, with the Communist Party reverting to collective decision-making. I disagree. This does not suggest Xi's authority is being challenged or diluted. The central decision-making and coordination bodies Xi referenced are the leading groups and committees he previously established. In the past, Xi used these groups to strip power from the State Council, consolidating authority through party-led structures. After securing lifelong rule, particularly after the 20th Party Congress when he surrounded himself with loyalists, Xi began to view these groups as less critical. He delegated their leadership to figures like Chang while creating new committees, such as those for security, information, and finance, where he serves as the head. The group leadership roles were assigned to Politburo or standing committee members. The regulations discussed in the recent Politburo meeting reflect Xi's concern. Even though he delegated group leadership, he wants to maintain control over those leaders. That's the true significance of the Politburo's decision. Some even speculate that Xi might reinstate a Central Advisory Commission, like the one Deng Xiaoping used to oversee Jiang Zemin or mask his partial retirement. Some now wonder if this Politburo meeting signals a loss of Xi's authority, with a Hu Jintao-led advisory commission supervising him. But Hu Jintao was physically removed. How could he have the ability or audacity to oversee Xi? Hu's removal was a warning: cause trouble, and you'll end up like Li Keqiang, who died swimming at Beidaihe. This news suggests Xi is further consolidating control over the Communist Party, not losing it. Second, the sudden emphasis by Qiushi and Xinhua on Xi's rhetoric about struggle reveals how he maintains power and enforces his rule, through populism and patriotism, creating a formidable external enemy to intimidate the Chinese people and strengthen his grip. As rumors of his power waning or stepping down grow louder, Xi once again employs his well-honed ideological tool, fueling anti-foreign, anti-Western, and anti-American sentiment in Chinese discourse. Yet this also confirms that Xi faces questioning or criticism within the party. Whenever he feels threatened or senses a challenge, he highlights the party's or external enemies. In a way, the narrative of Xi stepping down or losing power does affect him. He's clearly wary of it. The more he emphasizes struggle, the more it reflects his inner anxieties. Third, let's address General Flynn's claim that Xi is stepping down and the indicators of Xi's potential downfall cited by the former U.S. diplomat. Without official information from the Communist Party, we cannot dismiss claims of Xi stepping down as false. But what evidence proves they're false? Likewise, what evidence confirms Xi will definitely remain in power? There's none. You'd need official announcements. Even if the fourth plenum occurs and Xi remains in place, some will still claim he's effectively stepped down, even if not officially. How should we assess whether Xi is stepping down? At the very least, we shouldn't place too much trust in figures like General Flynn. For example, Flynn recently claimed that 300,000 Chinese People's Liberation Army soldiers illegally entered the U.S. last year. neither the Biden nor Trump administrations took such an explosive claim seriously. As political rhetoric, it's effective for propaganda, but it raises doubts about Flynn's credibility. Similarly, can the three indicators cited by Slawson, the former U.S. Consul General, truly lead to the conclusion that Xi's power is diminishing? They seem somewhat tenuous. For instance, the claim that Xi's poor health equates to a loss of power. In China, leaders don't resign even if they're critically ill. Mao Zedong was barely coherent in his final days, yet he never relinquished power. The idea that poor health leads to resignation may hold in the West, but in an authoritarian state like China, the worse their health, the tighter they cling to power. There's no direct correlation between health and stepping down. Another claim is that Xi's absence from CCTV or People's Daily headlines signals his downfall. This has been debunked repeatedly. Xi often disappears for periods. He's not a diligent leader. When disasters strike, he's nowhere to be seen. If there's a disaster in the north, he inspects the south. If in the south, he visits the east. He's not a leader who toils tirelessly or cares about his public image, as lifelong rule eliminates the need for such theatrics. He once ate dumplings in public or queued for a meal, but now he doesn't bother. Wherever Xi goes, roads are closed, police escorts are deployed, streets are cleared, and even balconies are sealed. He can't keep a low profile. You can't conclude he's lost power just because he hasn't appeared in headlines or on CCTV for a few days. Prolonged absence might raise concerns, but he typically reappears after a couple of weeks, fully re-energized. Thus, the indicators cited by these experts lack credibility. Still, many harbor resentment toward Xi, and as long as he remains in power, rumors of his downfall will persist. Even if he doesn't step down at the fourth plenum, claims will continue that he's effectively stepped down, even if not officially. Whether Xi steps down is a critical question, but currently there are no reliable indicators or evidence to suggest he will. Thanks for watching and joining us on this journey to unveil China's many layers. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and hit that subscribe button to stay updated. See you in the next video.